rise of coronavirus in his state after he will allow businesses to begin reopening on Friday. Joining us now is the mayor of one of the cities hardest hit in Georgia by coronavirus, Albany Mayor Bo Dorough. Mr. Mayor, thank you so much for being with us. What is your reaction to this decision? How do you feel about this?
Good morning. Well, let me first say that I understand the governor had a difficult decision to make. I do, however, think he made the wrong decision. And on three levels. As a citizen, we need to understand that reopening the economy should be guided by benchmarks and not dates. That reopening the economy should be a gradual and controlled process. And that's not what we're seeing here. For instance, barbershops, beauty shops, nail salons, there is no way to maintain social distancing in these places. And in Georgia, we have a serious problem in our nursing homes. Notices, it appears that a third of our deaths are in nursing homes. I have a problem as a Georgian because I believe that the deceleration of infection is attributable to the shelter-in-place order that the governor entered earlier this month. And thirdly, as an elected official, I'm very concerned that the governor has prohibited us from implementing measures which might be appropriate to our locale.
Talk to me about that. Is there anything you can do? You think this is dangerous, what the governor is doing, but is there anything you can do to countermand it in Albany?
Well, the first thing that we're going to do, I hope, is implore the governor's office to make an exception to Albany and Dougherty County and hopefully southwest Georgia. If you look at a map, you will see that the density of infection is highly localized in the state. And as it was mentioned earlier, here in Albany, we were already consumed by the virus when we realized what the problem was. We're rapidly approaching and probably will exceed this week 100 deaths in our county. And the surrounding counties, the total is over 60. So we understand how bad this virus can be. Unfortunately, many areas of the state, which have only a handful of infections, are, I believe, too anxious to return to normalcy because they have not yet borne the brunt of this pandemic.
You are bearing the brunt of it. Let me ask you this. One of the things the governor says is that hospitals now have capacity to handle new cases of coronavirus if they arise. How do you feel about your capacity in Albany?
Well, let me say that here is one problem of addressing this on a statewide level. One of your guests earlier was talking about the capacity in our state. Well, here in Albany, we have our medical ICU, our cardiac ICU, and surgical ICU are all full with COVID patients. The recovery room in our hospital has been modified to serve as the ICU unit for all other patients. So if they have capacity in Macon or Savannah or Columbus, that is not helping the situation here in Albany. We remain at capacity. Our hospital has been under stress, and I and our medical staff and healthcare providers have done so and will continue to do so. But the fact that there are available beds throughout the state is somewhat misleading.
How much warning were you given about this decision that it would be coming so soon?
Well, of course, there was anticipation. I think the general assumption was that the governor would lift most of the restrictions effective April 30th when the shelter-in-place ordinance expired. But what the governor has done without saying it is essentially rescind the shelter-in-place ordinance because reopening these businesses is completely inconsistent with the shelter-in-place approach.
How worried are you, Mayor?
I'm very worried. As I said, I am seeing here in Albany positive trends. Our hospital is discharging patients, more patients than admitting, which we were advised early on. That would be the point where we saw the light at the end of the tunnel. The virus hit us harder and earlier than anywhere else in the state. And I am hoping that we have passed the peak. But then you read about the possibility of a second wave, and I am obviously concerned about that. And likewise, I am very upset that we have been constrained from taking precautions to protect our citizens.
Mayor Beau Duro, we thank you for being with us this morning. We wish you the best of luck in the coming days.
Thank you for having me. Good day.
So serious questions this morning about the health of